Welcome to Monday, Tarot fam. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner, psychic, remote viewer, and teacher for over 35 years. And this is Mixtape Monday for February 9th, 2026. Mixtape Monday is my weekly program where I take questions from your chat and I answer them as best I can using tarot, Lenormand, and psychic ability. So if it's your first time here, welcome. Hit that like button. Consider giving me a sub if you haven't already. And we're going to jump right into it. So thanks so much for being here. A few things that I did want to cover before we get going. So Mixtape Monday is not going anywhere. I'm going to keep Mixtape Monday. You know, at the beginning of the year, I changed my schedule around a little bit more to accommodate for more lives, but doesn't seem like you guys really want that many lives. So we're going to go back to more of a production schedule. So Mixtape Monday will still be on Monday. You're going to get all of your questions asked. So drop them in the comments. I will give you a shout out if you want. I will not give you a shout out if you don't want, but drop those questions in the comments. I am occasionally going to do Mixtape Monday with a follow-up live or Mixtape Monday with just totally live, like Mixtape Monday After Dark. So keep an eye out for that. I will let you guys know how that schedule changes. Back by popular demand, I'm doing 2 for Tuesdays. So 2 for Tuesdays when I do 2 production videos, and it's going to be like a he said, she said, or 2 different looks at the same situation, husband and wife, or the royals versus the non-royals, whatever we're going to do. Could be political, could be Putin versus Biden or Trump or whomever, but it's going to be 2 topics on two similar perspectives of the same topic. You guys loved it, so we're going to keep going with that. I am going to do my lives from last week tomorrow on Tuesday. So keep an eye out for those as well. That's going to be our members into our general audience live. Everybody likes that. I'm going to try and keep them to an hour because that's 2 hours for my mods to be on. And that's a lot of time. And I want to be respectful of their time and your time. Wednesdays, we've already introduced it, Wicked Wednesdays. You guys, if you've been with me for a long time, you know I don't like reading on true crime, but guess what? I'm going to start doing it. Once a month, we are going to be doing an offline, off YouTube psychic exploration. And this Wicked Wednesdays is really going to help out. So we could be talking about conspiracy, crime, murder, all kinds of crazy stuff. So we could be talking about spooky stuff. So we're going to do Wicked Wednesdays, might have some interviews with people, might do some other stuff. It's going to be fun. Thursdays are going to be Time Travel Thursday. So Thursday, we're going to be looking at timeline jumps. We just did it with Harry and Meghan. This week, we're going to be talking about what if William didn't marry Catherine. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Oh, and for Wicked Wednesday, right now I know it is Monday when I'm recording this. It is almost 1 p.m. on the East Coast. And I know the deadline is approaching for Nancy Guthrie for them to do the Bitcoin drop. So depending on what happens this morning, I may be doing her for Wicked Wednesday. Possibly not. It depends. I'm not having a great feeling about this. So we're going to see what shakes out as the day proceeds. But as obvious, all prayers go toward the Guthrie family. It's a terrible, terrible thing that's going on. So Fridays are going to be my live day. Fridays, I will be live for members only, right into our general audience. So if you want to get a taste of how I read, guys, go on and do that. You can meet up with us on Friday. This Friday, it's going to be a little bit early because I have a Galentine's event that I am doing in person. So that is super fun for me and super fun for the gals that I am going to see. Saturday and Sunday, you are going to get a series of short teaching videos that will start on Monday and go all the way through the weekend. So you're going to be able to see some of those videos. Basically, I'm going to give you a psychic or supernatural or esoteric skill that you can practice the whole week. So by the end of the week, you should be able to do some neat stuff. So we will have a teaching video come up this week. I do think that I will do more advanced teaching on the subjects on my website. So you can go over and check that out, www.fortunecookiestarot.com. And while you're over there, sign up for the newsletter because I do put out my schedule for when I'm going to be available for private reads and when I'm going to be available for instant reads on the Hipsy app. So you'll be able to see when my lives are. You'll be able to see when special events are happening, like the psychic crime explorations and the past life regressions that I also do once a month. So that was a lot, but let's get into it, guys. So bringing up the card view. If you're still with me, thanks so much. Stick around. We're going to have some fun with this. We are going to go bananas for Mixtape Monday. So here we go. First question, Secret Soul Survivor. Thank you so much for dropping this one in. Secret Soul Survivor responded to my video on Bill Gates and the Epstein file drop and wants to know if the Gatesy gang are still on track with their global plans. Let's find out. Is the band still together? 5 of Candles. Everybody's running for cover. Page of Quills. Absolutely not. Secret Soul Survivor. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that we're gonna find out who was in the club. So 10 of Biscuits in reverse too. The 4 of Biscuits in reverse. Those are 2 alarming cards, and the 8 of Candles. So I don't know how much we are going to find out right away. It looks like information is coming out very slow. We're seeing that with the Epstein file drops. We're just getting a little bit at a time. But this 5 of Candles in the middle tells me that everybody is in SOS save our skin mode. Here with the with the Page of Quills there, that is liar, liar, pants on fire, trying to save what they are doing and not get caught in a mosh. Over here, the 10 of Biscuits, the plan is falling apart. And over here, the leaked plan is falling apart. So the information is leaking and planting. You guys know that from Harry and Meghan. Don't worry, we're going to talk about them too. And I think I can tell, Secret Soul Survivor, that the players in this great plan for plebeians like me and you, if you know, you know, it has really not worked. It looks like the major players are running for the hills, like Bruce Dickinson said. Have we seen the end of the overlords? Are the overlords being overtaken? 9 of Biscuits. They scuttled back into their hole for safety with that 6 of Quills and the 9 of Teacups. So I'm going to tell everybody, stay vigilant. It looks like the creepy creeps that are out there trying to run my life and yours have run for cover. They scuttled back under the rock that they came out from, and they are going to be sitting pretty for a little bit. So there are some power dynamics that are hiding in the darker recesses of the world. Keep your eye on the prize. Stay vigilant, stay aware, and most of all, stay psychic. What else do we have going on? So this is a good one, guys. That was awesome. Marnie Hall. Marnie Hall is a great contributor to this channel. Thank you so much, Marnie. Marnie also has a question about my Epstein series. If you haven't watched it, go back. There is a playlist. I will be dropping more videos in there as more things happen. So Marnie Hall wanted to know what was going to happen with the Clintons Foundation. Currently, they have about 300 million in total assets. I couldn't even get it out. And they have about 20 million in donations, over half with restrictions. Will they see the donation? Well, let's start with the first question. What is the impact of all of this Epstein business going to be on the Clinton Foundation? Now, remember that the Clintons have already acknowledged that they're going to testify. So there's some strange stuff going on here, guys. Will the foundation be impacted? Page of Biscuits, Queen of Teacups. I think that they are Uno reverse right now. Reverse engines. Let's make this look good. So I think that some of the intention of the flow of cash and special prizes has now been changed. And I think they're pushing those cash and special prizes over to another direction, which is more in alignment with being altruistic and having a foundation. What is under the surface on this? They are not happy. In the past, it was very easy to hide those funds and take them where they need to go. Up top, they are going to play dumb, dumb, dumb. And what is in the future? King of Candles. So unfortunately, I think that the foundation is going to be a little bit bulletproof. I don't think that they are going to have to answer to too much. I think they've hidden everything that they need to hide. And I think they are going to stop payments or rerouted money to different places immediately so that they don't have that paper trail. So I do think that the Clinton Foundation is going to survive. I absolutely think that Chelsea Clinton will take this over in the fullness of time. But for now, it's too big to fail, too big to get knocked down. So that is unfortunate. But Marnie also wants to know, will the donations go down? Will the donations go down? Yes, there are individuals that are not going to hand out those handouts anymore because it just does not seem like a viable tax deduction if they're using it for that. So they're going to diversify. They're going to send their money, create some distance between them and the Clinton Foundation and the other players that are involved in that kind of lifestyle. So we are seeing absolutely some donors not contributing to the Clinton Foundation in the way that they used to. So we're going to keep an eye on this as well. Marnie, you can keep tabs on that and keep me posted. Again, guys, you don't have to put your questions in the chat. You can always send them to me at fortunecookiestarot@gmail.com if you'd like to send it without your name attached. So thank you so much. Next question, please. So I am going to do a brief reading on Nancy Guthrie right now. Like I said, it is 1:02 p.m. on February 9th. They are currently awaiting some action during the deadline that was put into one of the communications that went out to some news places. See how Nancy's doing at the moment. I do think that we are going to get some manner of communication. Now, Savannah Guthrie had said in one of the public statements that they made, they did have some concerns about AI being used to recreate their mother's image. I think that they are going to get some kind of proof of life. Is it going to be an actual proof of life? I don't think so. And I think that they're going to be able to debunk that. So whether this is a communication with some details in it written, or if this is a video, I think they're going to discover that this is in fact not timely and not, technically speaking, proof of life. So pains me to say that. I feel bad saying that. We'll continue to look at that for Wicked Wednesday, where I think we're going to take a look at who the kidnapper is. I think that's what we're going to do on Wednesday. So, so we're going to skippity-doo back on over to the Clintons and some of their associates. So we all know that Huma Abedin is one of Hillary Clinton's closest advisors and friends. And she was once upon a time married to Anthony Weiner. Anthony Weiner likes to play around on the internet and likes to play around with very, very young gals. Okay, Blue Eyes had some questions about uncovering some of the things that are on Anthony's trusty laptop. Let's see if there's anything that is about to be exposed about Anthony Weiner and his wiener. Anything about to break. There we go. 4 of biscuits. When we get the 4 of pentacles in reverse, this is not carefully guarded information. It is damaging information, substantial information. The pentacles, or biscuits in this case, are really, really substantial. So we are going to see something. Ooh, it is going to take some stuff down. There we go. This is an executive move. They are going to drop the information. Why? Why focus on Anthony right now? 8 of teacups, 6 of biscuits. This is part of a deal that they've already cut. They have already cut a deal for revelation of this. Is it Uma? I think that his lovely ex-wife, who recently got remarried, I think his lovely ex-wife is holding some information and they are hanging on to it for it to be a distraction. So, Anthony Weiner, you better buckle up, Buttercup, because it looks like those chickens and chicks are coming home to roost. What's going to be the outcome of this? Knight of Candles in reverse, 8 of Candles, and the King of Quills. We are going to find out that there's a lot more that was going on that laptop than what we know. The surface has been scratched only. So, eyes on Anthony Weiner. I think we're going to see some things. We have timing on this. Timing. Queen of Candles. Queens. In terms of candles, we're looking at days. When we're looking at queens, we're looking at like 13. So I'm going to say fortnight. Let's see what we get in a fortnight. Curious. Today is, again, February 9th, 2026. Let's see what happens in a fortnight. If you guys are watching this and some things went down, let me know in the chat, okay? I always like to see those psychic scores. All right, boys and girls. Good day today. I want to remind you guys that I am an ambassador for Otter Spirit, and this is my sensuality pack that they sent me at the beginning of the month. And if you are at a loss what to get for your sweetie this year, make sure that you get your orders in today, because I think you can still rush order them before the weekend. They usually deliver pretty quickly, but you can do your rush orders. The sensuality pack is great. Any of the rose quartz are beautiful. I'm going to tell you, I'm loving the garnet that's on this bracelet. I'm loving it. And if you really want to go all out, you can get a sphere. You guys remember the sphere from last week? We are still in our scrying practice. Keep an eye out for little tips and tricks and the 7-day challenge that I'm going to drop in my shorts. But if you want to get something from Outer Spirit, there is a link in my About section that lets them know that I sent you over. You can also use code Fortune20 for 20% off any purchase and Fortune30 for 30% off any purchase of $99 or more. So, Bill Clinton. Everybody wants to know about Bill Clinton. Are we going to find out more about Bill Clinton and his association with Jeffrey Epstein? I do want to say in the last drop, we had Bill in a hot tub, and it did look like the young lady that was next to him was unclothed. So, shocker. Are we going to find out anything more? Is there anything more out there? 10 of biscuits. We may have the whole story already. Are we going to see that there was any sketchy money stuff that went on with Bill and Jeffrey? Yes, that will be exposed. Are we going to see more about his escapades? Knight of Quills, Page of Teacups, Eight of Quills, Eight of Candles. I think they were a little bit more careful about the information that was obtained about Mr. Bill Clinton. Former President Bill Clinton. I think they were very careful about it. I think they got just enough. Just enough. I think the portrait, just enough. Just enough. So I don't know if we're going to find out too much more about Mr. Bill Clinton in terms of his participation for his escapades. I'm saying it purposely like that, guys. The escapades that he had on Jeffrey's Island, I think, are fairly expected. I don't think we're going to get any additional weird information about him that, you know, he had like a tentacle fetish or something like that. We're not going to get anything like that. I think we are just going to get that he was a garden variety frat boy and just was sticking it in whatever was presented. So I don't think we're going to hear that he had like an age limit, needed to be below a certain age or anything like that. I think he was just glad for somebody to come over and mustard his hot dog, so to speak. So I think that's all we're going to get on old Bill. I did vote for him. Hopefully my parents aren't going to see this, but I did vote for him. I think the first time he ran, I fell for it. But let's see what's going to happen with him. All right, kids, we are going to skip over the pond for this one. And this came from Dana. Thank you, Dana, for your request. Actually, for the inspiration for this question, because there is no question this. Dana says, Andrew proved he will not respect William. He was asked not to stand by William outside when they were at the funeral. He did so purposely. He and Fergie made spectacles out of themselves while laughing out loud, Harry will obviously not respect William's requests either. I'm sorry this has to be so hard on him. So hard for him. So let's see. Is Andrew Mountbatten Windsor? Will he respect the rule of the heir apparent, William, Prince of Wales? Will he respect him? Page of Quills. No, why not? Because he's never gotten along with him. Blah, 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 blah. Under the surface. King of Candles, right? Queen of Quills. Four of Teacups. So it's going to end in disaster, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. So Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, in all of his arrogance, we see it on full display with this subconscious or unconscious disposition. He thinks that he would be good to be the king. I think we all know what that would turn out like. Over here, I think that Andrew has long thought that the monarchy needed to shake up and maybe the line of succession should go in a different direction. Maybe he thought that he was a little bit like his grandfather. Interesting. Over here, he is not shy about saying it in certain quarters. I would say that he is saying this to courtiers, to staff, to close friends, whether they're friends or not. And I think he has long said, I think that the monarchy deserves a different leader here. He went French a little bit. Up here, Four of Teacups, I do think he is trying to figure out a way out of this self-imprisonment. He has been put in confinement. And over here, ultimately, this will not work for him. Is he considering trying to build some kind of support for himself all the way out on that crazy marsh farm? The Hanged One. Temperance. 5 of biscuits. He doesn't quite understand why he has been removed from the family hall. Andrew is one of those people that is going to say, well, I've been out here for a fortnight and I'm bored and it's cold and I can't ride my ponies the way I want. So I think I'm done with my punishment. Andrew absolutely is going to try to live his poshest life while in this internal exile in the royal family. I think that's what we're going to call it from now on. I think he's got an internal exile. I think that they have stuffed him onto this property and told him, sit down and shut up. It's akin to being put in a timeout. But Andrew thinks that that timeout is only going to be a short period of time, and then he can go back to his normal behavior. That is not going to work. So is Andrew going to support and respect William, Prince of Wales? I don't think so. I think he is going to have issue and complaint with every single step of the way. I think it's going to be a problem. For fun, how will William respond to this? William is going to use the example of the Duke of Sussex, and I almost said the former Duke of Sussex. So I think William's going to say, try it. Right now, you have a cushy deal. You've got comfortable housing. Try it. Try it and see what happens. Try it and see where you wind up. You may wind up in America. You may wind up in Canada, but you're not going to stay here and tarnish the crown on my head. Good for you, William. I like that attitude. I think that that's a good attitude to have. So let's take a look. And see if Harry has any intention to respect William's rule. Any intention. 10 of Candles. Knight of Teacups. Expect, I'm going to say it right now, we're talking about the energy right now on February 9th, 2026. Expect Harry to make a bold statement, a bold and emotional appeal to his brother when his brother does ascend to the throne. We're going to see that. And it will be because he's a man without country. It will be a reckless, and emotional appeal to his brother. Will it work? I think William will weigh this over for some time. The high priestess does like to sit and consider the emotional, the rational, the logical, and the intuitive. Wants to put all those things together and really come up with the most balanced approach. I think that William will find a balanced approach for Harry if he comes with no baggage. We know who the baggage is. And if he comes on a truly bended knee, again, we're talking about the energy right now, February 9th, 2026. With tarot and psychic readings, free will always comes into the mix. And what can happen is we can veer off into another direction. If you guys want to explore more of this, check out the videos that I'm going to be doing on Thursday, because they're going to be a lot of fun talking about timeline shifts, pivots that we make in time, pivots that celebrities and other professionals in the world make. And we're going to explore what would happen if they made a different decision. So Harry, right now, with the energy that's in place, he is going to present to his brother, my liege. He will bend the knee right now. It's what he's thinking about right now. But who knows? Maybe he'll win some money on a scratch off and be one of those Southern California multimillionaires. We'll see with Harry. So in response to my Clinton video on the Epstein file drop, Scooby-Doo, where are you? Hi, Scooby-Doo. So Scooby-Doo said that Clinton will be able to speak on the president being in the files under oath. Now, I'm presuming that Scooby-Doo means sitting president right now, President Trump. Will Bill Clinton testify that Trump is in it up to his neck with the Epstein files and the place? Temperance. So that means we're going to get an asi, kosi kind of answer. We're going to get like, well, I think he was there. I thought I saw him walking around with his orange skin. Let's see. Hermit in reverse. Clinton will testify that there were rumors that he's going to give, I don't want to say false witness, but he's going to give almost like second or third hand witness accounts. Well, the girls there said that Donald Trump was staying in my room right before me. I can't believe they'd have that orange man staying there. So down here, the Chariot, he's going to try and move the focus off him. King of Teacups, he is trying to regain that likable dude. Three of Quills up top, and the Prince of Quills, rewriting the history, trying to deflect attention off himself. Bill Clinton, if your last reading was accurate, you don't have that much to be worried about. You're just kind of garden variety frat boy. You're just sticking it wherever you can, any opportunity. Sometimes you got to say yes. I want my MTV, guys. I miss MTV. How about you guys? So I think that Bill is going to try and rewrite some history here to try and include another president rather than give actual real testimony. I think he is going to say, somebody told me, this person said this, I sat in the same chair that Donald J. Trump did. I think we're going to hear a lot of that. So, there's going to be suggestive. Now, remember what I said when we first looked at this in the Epstein files. Again, if you haven't seen it, you can go. There's a playlist. You can go watch all my Epstein file videos where we look at all the players, their names that are coming up, and we kind of take that apart. But in that video, I said that when Bill testifies, he's going to plead the fifth. He's not going to remember a lot of stuff. He's going to say, I've been doing a lot of special things my whole life. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I think that we are going to see, well, I was told that he was there. And then, it's going to come to nothing. Is this going to affect Trump? at all. Knight of Teacups. I mean, you know, if you know, you know. The people that don't like him don't like him. The Hierophant, he's still in position of power. 10 of Quills. There's Teflon Don. He's going to be Teflon. I don't think any of this is going to stick to him because I don't really think that there's going to, you can't say in 1 minute that you can't remember what happened. And then in the next minute, well, one of the waitresses told me that, you know, Donald J. Trump was here. So I think we're going to see a little bit of that. So we are going to shift out of politics and royalty, but we're going to talk about some musical royalty next. So Jane Jordan, hello, my dear. Thank you for your comment. She said, this has nothing to do with Epstein. She was responding to one of my Epstein videos. I've been on a nostalgic journey listening to the angelic voice of Whitney Houston. I know, like her national anthem, nothing compares to it. Actually, I love Meatloaf's. Meatloaf did a really good one too. But Whitney Houston, that is the, you know, the gold standard, the platinum standard of national anthems. My son and I are really fussy. I trained for music most of my life. I am a singer. My son is an amazing musician with a really good voice. My daughter also has a great voice. And we are both very judgy about the national anthem. So my son and I are very judgy. So Jane wants to know, I'd really like to know what broke her. If that's something I'd be willing to draw cards on. Absolutely. Welcome to the club. And she says, you're one of the very few tarot readers I enjoy on Facebook. Down to earth, practical, and most of all, funny. Thank you. Funny is a huge compliment for me. I love when people say that I'm funny because I try and be funny. Like sometimes your jokes don't always land right, but you know, my husband is hilarious. Gregopedia, you'll be seeing him here and there on my channel. But Gregopedia, funny was what got me. Funny was what got me. He is tall, dark, and handsome, but funny is what got me. So what was it that broke Whitney? So we're going to look at 3 piles. So this is herself, the machine of the music industry, and then the cabal. What was it? Herself. Machine of the music industry and the cabal. So sadly, I am going to say that she was just really done. The body was really, really worn out. You know, you can do a lot of things and recover energetically and physically, but sometimes that chronic behavior will just really take you to the end of the road. And I do think that this was a bit of the end of the road for her. Again, beautiful voice, another Jersey girl. She's from here in New Jersey. And there's still, I believe, one of her abandoned mansions is still, you can go there. I'm not telling people to go and break into a property or anything, but I think you can still go there and you can still wander around the property. It had all these buckled floors, and I saw it on one of the abandoned mansion channels. But I think the music industry was looking to get more out of her with this 2 of cups. That is 2 great ideas coming together. When I teach tarot, I teach it like we are building a house with the pips, with the numbered cards, and the 2, we find our architect and we get together and kind of discuss our vision for it. So the 2, they were discussing more of what could happen next for her. And then the cabal was waiting for her to show her weaknesses or her strengths. So with that Temperance card, they weren't promoting her, they weren't helping her, they weren't giving her a leg up. They were just kind of watching her and basically watching her fall apart, which is really, really unfortunate. So I think that the body really did that. I think the body kind of fell apart And there is a point where that happens with chronic use of certain things. So will we see her come back as a singer again? Let's do a little speculation. Let's see if we're going to get her back. Not yet, guys. So, and to be sure, talking about some past life stuff, and you guys know I do private past life regression once a month. Keep an eye on my website and here, whatever social media you're watching this on, keep an eye on my community posts for the next group session that we're going to do. It's online. We just go through a guided meditation. I take you into your past life and you go wander around. It's a really fun thing to do. But when we go from one life to the next lifetime, sometimes with more challenging lives, we have to kind of sit for a little bit on the other side and sort out what direction we are going to go in, what the next life is going to be, how we are going to conduct ourselves in that lifetime. And she's still doing that right now. Will she be a singer in the next lifetime? No. That 5 of Cups there tells me no. They are not going to give her that communication skill. They're actually going to take that away from her. Is that a terrible thing? No, it was an amazing device for her to communicate in this past lifetime, but they are going to give her some other challenges and lessons that she has to learn for the next one. So we'll sit around for that, but I think we got to wait a little bit for her to come on back. So Jane, thank you so much. Thank you for the great compliment. Like I said, funny goes a long way with me. So I appreciate you saying that I'm funny. Thank you. All right, kids, we are going to wrap it up with the big question. And everybody is asking this on all of my videos. So we now have footage of a gentleman that looks a heck of a lot like Jeffrey Epstein with a crazy beard. For a second, I thought maybe it was Bob Weir that came back, but I think Bob Weir has gone the way of Jerry Garcia. So if you want to go tour with the Grateful Dead, you're going to have to go do it up in the sky now. But Jeffrey Epstein, alive or dead? Nine of Biscuits, 9 of Pentacles. If it's your first time here, and if you haven't listened to me say this a million times, this is the kept woman. And in the traditional Rider-Waite, this bird that she has on her finger is actually a falcon that is hooded, because falcons, bird of prey, apex predator, falcons have some of their freedom taken away when they're taken into captivity. They are taken care of, but they have their freedom taken away. They can't fly. They can't hunt at will. As is the lady, the kept woman behind the walled garden. She exchanges comfort and care for freedom. That being said, Mr. Epstein, if I have to say it, that man is alive, concealed, and well protected. And they are making sure that he is living a clean life while in their care. His basest instincts, like that falcon that I just talked about, have been stopped for the time being. So that's good news for some of us that are living a good, clean life out here. He is not continuing to do what he does. However, he is being kept behind these walls. Why? What do we got? Four of teacups. They don't know what they're doing with him yet. Queen of biscuits. When the information runs out, when the drops run out, when the well is dry, justice will be enacted. That's when we're going to see it. Are they saving him for testimony or indictment? So that's going to be a bit of a trick. That'll be a little bit of a trick because 10 of candles, they can't really say, you know, oh, he's a decent guy. We just had him out there gathering information. They can't say that. Will we see him in the world? No, we're not going to see the judgment that we want, guys. You know, so for all the young ladies, all of the young people that suffered at the hands of this particular operation, we will not see justice. The events that happened in that prison when the two guards went to sleep and all the cameras stopped working, and, you know, just very unusual, crazy set of domino effect items, that was supposed to satisfy everyone. Because remember, plebeians like you and I are supposed to be really stupid, and we're not supposed to look at any of the things that are moving behind that screen. Gotcha there, Wizard of Oz. So the events where he was removed from that facility in a not so viable state, that is supposed to satisfy us. We are supposed to think that that is poetic justice. Is it? No, I disagree. I don't think that it is. But for now, before I am removed from my facility in an unviable state by those black helicopters that go off around our house, I'm going to leave this there for now. So, like I said, guys, tomorrow is going to be 2 for Tuesday, and I'm going to have my members only live go right into my general audience live just for an hour each, make my mods' life so much easier. They, you know, some of my mods mod for a whole bunch of channels. They are the unsung heroes. They really do a great job, and they chit chat with you guys in the comments, and they're just fantastic. And I love them so much. So, so Tuesday, we are going to have 2 for Tuesday. And then we are going to go into our lives. Wednesday is going to be Wicked Wednesday, depending on what happens with the Nancy Guthrie case today. I will be talking about that. Maybe we're going to take apart who the perpetrator is. So Thursday, we're going to do some time travel. We're going to see what would happen if William had never married Catherine. And then Friday, we're going to be live again. We're going to be teaching all week. So look for those videos. And absolutely go on over and check out the website. I'm still working on it. It's my first foray into like building a website. Go over and check out the website at www.fortunecookiestarot.com and sign up for the newsletter, because I send out all kinds of stuff about classes that I'm doing or sales that I'm doing. And if you're not on the mailing list, you may not get all that information. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you're having a great start to your week, and I will see you in the future.